I have to confess, the allure of the abandoned is universal, and I'm just as curious as anybody else. What say we check it out? Now, the original home would not look so boxy, stripped down and sparse. And the main reason for that is it would have had wraparound porches. And if you look close right here, you can see the color transition between the dark wood on top, lighter wood here, and this line right here is about where the porch roof would have attached. And if you look at the photograph, this is of the Dakin house. It would be about a quarter-mile away from this one. It probably had the same builder. There are minor differences between the two, but you can see how attractive it looks with the wraparound porches. And the folks, of course, are sitting underneath the shade to get out of the summer sun. Another interesting feature that stands out in these old homes are the brick piers, and of course, the square nails, which usually means 1900s or earlier. However, on this home, you'll also see wire nails, and according to our local historian, in 1916, this particular farmhouse underwent major alterations, and so that probably accounts for the wire nails you see here today. Now, the interior of their home is made on the I-house design. That would be 2 rooms down and 2 rooms up. Let's go have a look. You always got to watch out in these old houses. Looks like this is a glass doorknob, and I think it's original, along with the lock. Looks like the critters have been in here. Everything's fallen down. At some point, they put up sheetrock. Sheetrock first came out in 1916. I don't know when it was put up here. I would be surprised if they didn't have some sort of plaster and lath put up, but I don't see any signs of that. Now, there is an old piano, and I think if we look at some of the paperwork, we can discover when the home was last lived in. We've got a letter, 1957. This piano, I think, goes back a ways. And you can see in the photograph I'm showing you now, Mrs. Dakin sitting at her piano. Some thought that this might be the piano and this might be the house, but I think when all things are weighed, that this house is just very similarly built to the one that Mrs. Dakin is in, probably have a similar piano. A really neat feature of the home is this hand-painted mural. Of course, we have the cabbage palms, river shore, egret, alligator, cypress trees. All of this reflects their life on the river. And these stairwells are narrow, just like most stairwells in these old farmhouses. Okay, here's where it gets a little bit sketchy. Yep, gotta be careful in here. The neat thing about this house is that the dormer windows face the river, and it doesn't take much to imagine their view when they woke up every morning. Gorgeous. Okay, they have a central bathroom here, both bedrooms. Second bedroom is just a duplicate of the other, except this one is cleaned out. I guess this was a small closet storage area right here. If you hung, well, they did hang clothes in there, but you'd have to be careful about knocking your head for sure. And again, we have this absolutely stellar view. Okay, now it's time to head outside. And here's something kind of neat. This old kettle right here. Oh, it's cast iron. Undoubtedly, they hung that over the fireplace. Okay, here's the back of the house, and look at what I got for you bottle hunters. The owner and his family have been very busy. Let's see what they got. The nicest one, and they just found it today, is Killer Knot whiskey. Now this is machine made, but what I really like about it, one, obviously, is the color, and two, you can see these there. You can see some bubbles right there in that one. See it? See the bubble? Like that. I like it when the bottle shows the crudeness. This would be, I think, early machine. Has to be with those bubbles in there like that. But stellar, not a chip in it. Real good specimen. I'm about 50 yards behind the house, and I'm going to show you something really neat. Check this out. This is a tram rail that has grown into a tree. Now the tree itself is not that old. I'm guessing 35 to 40 years. But these would have been narrow gauge tracks, and the trams or cars would have been run down them and out on a dock, and they would have been loaded up into paddle wheelers. And they're kind of strewn all over the property. There's another one right here, and it's a narrow gauge. But what's interesting is about 150 to 200 yards that way, there's another piece of tram. So just to give you perspective, there's the main highway. We're a good 200 yards from the old farmhouse, and there's a piece of that rail right there. So if this tram track ran all the way down to the river, we're probably talking a quarter mile, which seems like a long ways. It could very well be that a lot of the grove owners got together and formed a growers association or a co-op, much like they do today, and had the packing house somewhere on this side of the road or maybe just on the opposite side. In any case, I think it's hugely interesting that we have a rail here and more, about 200 yards down there. As it turns out, the owner of the property plans on building a new home. He would like the old farmhouse taken down with dignity. If there's anybody out there interested in repurposing the lumber for the preservation of history, please comment. And with that, thank you for watching, and a special thanks to local historian Terry Kraft and a fellow member of the Fruitland Peninsula Historical Society.